Fresh Bake, we're doing a construction update today from the Disneyland Resort. Last days of the French Market, updates from the Pacific Wharf and downtown Disney, all this and more coming up next on Fresh Bake. Right behind me is the French Market, and today is Wednesday the 15th, February 15th. Tomorrow will be its last day of operation here in New Orleans Square, at least the last day of operation as we know it today. On Friday, it will begin its makeover, its transformation into Tianas Palace. It'll still pretty much be the same location, the same dining location in terms of its appearance, with a few changes. Chief among those changes coming to French Market, to Tianas Palace, will be a space where Tiana will be able to see guests from the second floor. As it turns out, it's going to be the balcony just outside of Club 33. Not the dining area proper, but the lounge, the bar, the New Orleans themed bar. She'll be appearing, I assume, according to the concept art, on that balcony greeting guests. Kind of like that, Fresh Bake. They're even going to make it look like the Mark Twain. You're going to see steam pipes just like those at the top of the French Market. They will also be updating the mobile order station. They're going to be creating a purpose-built mobile order station and adjusting the mint julep queue. Question: what's going to happen to the mint julep bar? As it turns out, where will guests be able to get beignets, or will they be able to get beignets or mint juleps? I don't know. Certainly, you can get beignets, I believe, at Cafe Orleans. Well, perhaps they'll add them to the menu. I'm not sure if they're on the menu today. I'll have to look that up. And you also you can now get beignets at Ralph Brennan's Jazz Kitchen. They've built a temporary location for that, which we're going to get to in a minute. But I have a feeling it's going to be a minute before we're going to get full service at the French Market. So while we're here, why don't we take one last look at the French Market as she exists today, create some reference footage in the process so we'll be able to do a proper before and after and see what this place looks like when they're done with Tianas Palace. All right, so that made me sad a little bit doing that. I was like, oh my God, I'm so worried. What are they going to do to this place? It's going to be completely different. But I actually, as I mentioned earlier, I feel like they're going to leave it mostly untouched, mostly because it's still New Orleans themed. It was New Orleans themed before, it'll be New Orleans themed after. So, you know, some of those spaces like the interiors that we looked at, I feel like that's going to remain as is. I don't think they're going to get too crazy on there, but they definitely will be needing to do something with that canopy because it completely obscures the view of that second floor balcony. And we can't see Tiana if you've got canopies covering that space. So look for, and the concept art bears that out. It's not as full, it doesn't cover the entire space. It'll be maybe a quarter as much canopy over that space as there is today. But I think the thing that I'm going to miss more than anything else is simply just the name, the French Market, and what it is and what it means to New Orleans Square. It's completely IP-less. It just existed as a place to have New Orleans themed food. You're still going to get that, obviously, but it's not going to be the French Market. It's now Tianas Palace. And as I'm sure you all know, the French Market connects in such a way to the rest of New Orleans Square in such a lovely way. And it connects, for example, right here to this perfumery. I remember hearing that this specific location may be getting a new tenant. This is a third-party tenant here, Mademoiselle Antoinette's Perfumery. That and or the Pandora shop, which, well, that's what it is today. They call it the Masquerade des Orleans, which is almost exclusively Pandora merchandise. As a matter of fact, yeah, it's got the Pandora shingle there. One of those two, I think, is leaving this place or getting a new tenant. I wonder if it's going to be continuing that Tiana theme. As you know, if we keep going down this route, we've got Eudora's chic boutique, Eudora being Tiana's mom. So this is another Princess Tiana themed space here in New Orleans Square. I feel like they could conceivably they could just make this Tiana land. Like, I know people joke about it. It's a thing that people have said, why not just call it Tiana's Land instead of New Orleans Square? I mean, they could. It feels like that's, I mean, what do we got? An attraction, a dining location, and a gift shop. Where else do you see that? Where else do you see Cars Land? But that's an entire movie, not a, I guess it is the same thing. You've got an entire land, Cars Land, you've got entire land, Galaxy's Edge. Both of those properties, though, are significantly larger in terms of appeal than Princess and the Frog is. I'm curious, actually, if they're going to do anything with this space where the Mint Julep Bar is. It's such a bottleneck back here. It's always so very intense. Hey, how are you? I always get a little nervous, a little tense when I walk through here. But I don't know. There's not much you can do, I think. One of my concerns always is how far are they going to go? To what length are they going to take the refurb? Are they going to go all the way? And sometimes you can get an idea of how far they're going to go by how long the refurb takes. My understanding is that, hey, how's it going? My understanding is that it's going to take 6 to 8 months to transform French Market into Tianas Palace. My first reaction to hearing that news is that's good. 6 to 8 months, I feel like, is a fair amount of time for them to do a decent enough job at updating this and not just a thin reskin, which if they're just, plussing it up here and there and adding a few things, that would only take a couple of months. So we're talking about some actual demo and rebuilding in certain areas. And I think that includes, the areas that surround here, because I think they want to make the dining area, the table area a little larger. Also, I think that the extended closure is going to be due to them redoing the kitchen. As I understand, they're going to be rebuilding the kitchen. I feel like it's probably a bit outdated. You could probably use some modernization, so hopefully that is something that's going to improve food quality and food service. But look for that. Look for 6 to 8 months. Where are we gonna get our beignets? Bootstrappers, all right. While we're here in New Orleans Square, let's check in on the New Orleans Square train station to get an update on the fire damage at the station that happened a couple weeks ago. Oh. Yeah, from there you can't see anything. It's so clear. From there, all you can see is just the proper roof. Moved up the steps to the New Orleans Square station, and you can see still the fire damage from that structure. They're kind of taking their time with it. I haven't seen any progress. I thought maybe they had already addressed it, but maybe I was seeing it from the incorrect angle. This angle obviously shows in great detail where the fire was located in that what was a cast member break room. I believe that they have sort of repurposed other areas of this space to give the cast members their break room back, but for the time being, they're still just kind of standing by, waiting for that building to be finished. I don't think they're actively working on it, to be honest. There's the Adventureland Treehouse as seen from just outside the French Market in New Orleans Square. Looks just about as we left her a couple weeks ago. I can't see anything. I wish I could. Again, even the sun's room up there in the top right corner of the frame, shrouded in leaves and branches. I keep coming back here looking for some sign of something. Trying again from just in front of it at the rail, the bridge for the Pirates of the Caribbean. Just tree trunks and branches. I mean, I don't imagine it would change much, right? It was very much, the Tarzan's Treehouse was very much like Swiss Family Treehouse was, so I don't see why it would change anything going back in the other direction. I'm looking here, that's again the little atrium area, or I should say the rotunda area, and you can see those wooden or bamboo railings there for what looks like a walkway from one station to another. 2 tree trunks providing support there. But I mean, all this is just as it was. In spite of not being able to see anything, I am super hyped, super hyped for Adventureland Treehouse. I have been wanting this for years. I've been talking about them making this Swiss Family Treehouse. I mean, it is what it is. They can't make it Swiss Family Treehouse again. Well, I shouldn't say they can't. They didn't. It is the Swiss Family Treehouse. Adventureland Treehouse is the Swiss Family Treehouse. They just didn't want to call it that because they didn't want to get stuck with the canon that is the film. That is 3 sons. They want a mixture of boys and girls, and they want to be able to do different things with those characters. For example, the daughter is now, I don't know if she's an active member of the SCA or just a big fan, but they want to bring in the SCA influence, the Society of Explorers and Adventurers. So that's the reason why they couldn't call it the Swiss Family Treehouse. It is the Swiss Family Treehouse. One thing I didn't notice when we did our Adventureland update last week, for Indiana Jones, I didn't notice this the first time. We're talking about nothing but concrete, but this rail has been updated. As we approach the end of the rail and towards Adventureland, the rail actually used to curve, and I don't know how to put this. There was more of it. It's now just a single rail right here. It used to have another part there was a gap. There was a, I don't know how to describe this. Hopefully I have video that will express what I'm trying to say, but they have converted it into just a single rail. You can see down here on the ground, the brickwork down here, that's about where the rail would have been, right? It would have been right here, grown out this way. And I don't know why that space existed or why they wanted to get rid of it, but there you have it. It is now just a single rail. That's the best way I can say it. There used to be 2 rails. It would curve around and create like a V formation almost. Haunted Mansion's open again. As we approach Splash Mountain, I have an update for you guys in terms of when it might be closing. We've been waiting for that date. Walt Disney World has had a date. They've already closed their attraction. People are wondering what's going on with Disneyland. My initial estimation, my initial theory was that they were waiting for Indiana Jones to reopen, and that might be the case still. That might be one of the reasons. But Braden from Mickey Views pointed out on Twitter, he had heard or learned that they're using a single crew, or cruise, I should say, for both Walt Disney World and Disneyland. That means the same crew that's going to build Tiana's Bayou Adventure at the Magic Kingdom is going to build it here as well at Disneyland. So that means the crew has to finish whatever it is that they're doing at Walt Disney World at Magic Kingdom, and then they're going to come over here and repeat the same steps at Disneyland. That is not to suggest, though, that we have to wait until Bayou's Adventure is complete at Magic Kingdom, because you don't have a single crew doing the entire construction project. You have different teams doing different tasks, different things. Just like building a house, you have electrical, you have plumbing, you've got drywall, whatever. So as each component is finished at Magic Kingdom, that team will come over here and get to work on Tiana's Bayou Adventure here at Disneyland. So you're looking at something like May or June is our best guess, and that is time enough for that first crew to finish what they're doing at Magic Kingdom. I'll take a quick interlude. Ride this horseless carriage back down Main Street and take this video over to DC. Actually, we're going to stop in downtown Disney first, just like last week. Stop in downtown Disney, check in on the home store, etc. Then head over to DCA. Hey, Steve!
Hey, how you doing?
There's nothing quite like a ride on a Main Street vehicle down Main Street on a busy Wednesday afternoon. That made me really happy. Sometimes when I do these reports, I'm all work and no play. I dang near jumped into Pirates of the Caribbean for a minute, but I said, you know what, I'm gonna get on this Main Street vehicle, man. Sometimes you gotta remember just to be at Disneyland. I've arrived at the home store. My goodness, what has happened? Okay, so if that's not an indication that they are planning something significant for this location, then I don't know what is. The exteriors are completely stripped. It's no longer what it used to be, and that goes all the way over to, sorry, that goes all the way over to the Wonderground location as well. Everything has been completely stripped. There's no glass, no anything anywhere. And you can see, obviously, just like last time, down to the the studs. That's a tell that they are retheming this facade. They're retheming this, not just the insides, but the outsides as well. Wow. Well, they still have the main theming elements. Like if you look at the top, that hasn't been stripped yet. Although we could come back in a week and that things might be different. But I don't feel like this location is long for whatever it was. It's now going to become something else. Sources say Tortilla Joes is definitely not long for this location either. I don't have a date yet, but we're hearing that it's going to be closing in a few months, and that all the cast that are working here will be moving over to whatever Catal and Uva Bar become. Next door, they have taken down some of the walls out in front of the Jazz Kitchen to reveal, as we mentioned earlier in the show, a new Jazz Kitchen Express. So you can queue up right here, place your order in this little temporary kiosk, and then food service or delivery is right next door. With that, we can then assume that the Jazz Kitchen Express will still be a thing when the remodel is complete, and it looks like that remodel will include the former Jazz Kitchen Express, which when we were here before, this whole space was, I should say the interior space was gutted inside. You could see nothing inside there. So what that winds up being, who knows? Beignets, that's the thing. And actually this is, again, as we mentioned earlier, where you can get beignets in lieu of getting them at the French market. Personally, I'm not coming all the way down to downtown Disney to get a beignet. If I want one, I'm just gonna go out, I think, or get the beignets on the way home and not part of my in-visit day, in-park day. But it's an option for those of you who really, really love beignets. Over at the monorail entrance, you can see that the scrims have been taken down to reveal some new concrete. Nothing major, just refreshing things here. This is the new stuff right here. That'll be the old, and that'll be the new. I'm not sure what precipitated this, why it was necessary, but I don't think it really matters. New concrete is the thing that's gonna happen from time to time. Oh, look at that. Do you guys think we can see in there? Let's find out. I'm gonna flip it. They've built a ramp. They're gonna be doing some stunts over that dirt ramp. Star Wars Trading Post is still open. I wonder when, now that I'm here looking at this, I wonder when they're going to reconsider that. Like, what are their plans? I am so desperate to know how that building, that specific building, well, ESPN Zone too for that matter, how those buildings are going to be impacted or change when we get the new Downtown Disney over the course of the next couple years. It's such a very specific thing. Like, oh, there's only so many things you can put in that building as constructed. But the concept art that we've seen for Downtown Disney have never shown plans from that angle, from that side. We've only ever seen, this side where they're working on the dirt lot over here. I don't know. I'm so desperate. Hey, look, monorail. I gotta know. Look, I'm not a particularly well-connected guy. I get a few inside bits here and there. Certainly not as well-connected as, let's say, Braden over at Mickey Views, who gave us that info about Splash Mountain. But I'm willing to take that on. You guys, I need somebody on that team to let me know what's happening with Downtown Disney.
Alright, well, welcome aboard the Red Car Trolley, everybody. My name is Matt, and I'll be your conductor on this line. I was one of the very talented motorist, Mark. Give it up for Mark, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, guys, that was terrible. That's also our motto here on the Red Car Trolley. Comfort for those rock hard seats you guys are currently sitting on. Speed for that whopping top speed of 4 miles an hour. Any faster now, we have to ask you guys to tug on that yellow tab for us. And safety, because we're the safest trolley on this track. We're also the only trolley on this track. Alright, folks, it's still me. It's still Mark.
There's your update on the Fairfax Market.
Making your way to Sunset Boulevard.
Still painting. Oh, you can see they've covered up that sign right there.
And that's actually due to a movie studio trick called forced perspective.
Windows are covered.
They look bigger and further away than they actually are. And Walt Disney uses
Paint
ideas
pump.
to create effects in theme parks all over the world. We also have the Hyperion Theater up here on the left-hand side, which used to host the Frozen show. But unfortunately, we had to let it go. We're now approaching our last and final stop on this line, Sunset Boulevard. As a reminder, please remain seated. The line comes complete. Full stop. Those lights are turned on and those
tables.
doors
We need to go investigate. I have no idea. This does not look permanent, though. This is temporary. This is probably his first show or something. But yeah, no chairs for those tables either. So this has nothing to do with Hyperion or anything like that. I'm going to go ahead and go on record one more time. Rogers the Musical. That's my prediction. You make me predict based on that casting call. I'm thinking Rogers the Musical at the Hyperion Theater. Moving quickly on the bridge, it would appear we were here about a week ago, and we saw that they had just started putting together the foundations and supports for the 4 pillars of the newly updated bridge, the San Francisco Bridge. Looks like they've made a little bit more progress here, and I don't know how long it takes to build this kind of thing, but I expect that we'll be able to see more visible results here in short order. This is moving quickly, quicker than I thought it would move, quicker or at least by Disney standards, which, in case you haven't guessed, is not very quick at all. Disney standards are very slow. Go check out, I referenced Braden again at Mickey Views. He went over there and looked at the construction updates, or he filmed some construction updates on Epic Universe. That thing is moving at light speed. There is just stuff happening all the time. Check out Braden's, I think it was on his personal feed. I'll post the link or whatever. But Epic Universe is moving. Hey, how are you? I'm hoping by the time Epic Universe is built that I will have established myself as a East Coast vlogger, theme park vlogger by that time. I am so desperate, again, to see how that turns out. Disney's got their hands full, man, with Universal. They're doing some things. By the way, I should note that we're going to be, I'll mention it now, we're going to the opening day of Nintendo World on Friday. So stay tuned for that. And I would love to see if I can't figure out a way to mix in some Epic Universe updates for you as well, for those East Coast theme park fans. I am really encouraged by what they could be doing, considering what they've done, everything that they've done, Universal, while we're on this tangent, everything that they have done, starting with Harry Potter and going forward, has been A+. So I have no reason to think that they're not going to A+ the hell out of Epic Universe.
See, it makes no difference if it's sweet or high. Just give that rhythm everything you got. Oh, it don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing.
And that is our show for today, Fresh Baked. I hope you enjoyed this construction update from the Disneyland Resort. Interesting stuff happening. It seems like every week I got something to talk about at Disneyland. This week is no different. Thank you guys very much for watching. Stay tuned, by the way, as I am on my way as we speak into Grizzly Peak. There's Grizzly Peak right there. That's where I'm going. I'm on my way in here to film a segment for another video at Redwood Creek Challenge. I don't want to give it away what that video is about. Maybe I should. Maybe I should. It's a little bit about Avatar and Pandora related activities, perhaps. I'm on my way to Redwood Creek Challenge to shoot a segment. Stay tuned for that. Stay tuned to Fresh Baked for more. And follow us on Instagram at _FreshBaked, on Twitter at FreshBakedDisney. That's fresh with no E. And on TikTok at Fresh Baked Disney. If you like our show and want to show your support, please do consider joining our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/freshbaked. Otherwise, thanks again for watching, everybody. We love you. Be safe out there. Be kind to one another. Fresh Baked. What could I be finding at Redwood Creek?